Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Bloom Outdoors. So if you guys missed the other videos of the install on the tune, as well as the video of the downloading the tunes onto the tuning device itself, make sure you go check those out, because if you want to know how to do those things, then there is videos for them. I'll leave a link for them down in the description below. But I've hit the limit in miles that I said that I was going to wait until I do the review. I said I was going to wait till about 12,000 miles, and I'm a little over that. I meant like 12,150 or something like that. But I think it is time to finally do a proper review after I've driven this thing for quite some time. So now I can finally do a proper review and tell you guys my feelings about it after I've driven in town and on the highway with it. First things first, hop in. As you can tell, there's no tuning device plugged into the OBD2 port. So that is one feature with this tuning device. You do not have to leave it plugged in all the time. You can plug it in and download the tune, and then you can unplug it and you're good to go, and the tune is still saved onto the truck. So I'm going to start the truck up here. Just right away from the startup, you cannot notice anything different about how it used to start versus now. There's no codes that pop up, no like check engine light, nothing. The only thing is the seatbelt thing, because my seatbelt's not on right now. But put that on here, go take it for a little drive, seatbelt's on. First thing to notice right when we hop in, I reset my trip meter every single time I get gas. I think I've gotten gas once or twice maybe since I've put the tune on. I want to say twice. Just right away from the start, we can see the miles to the gallon is 18.7. which by the way is way better than what I used to get. Before the tune was installed, I would get around 17 miles to the gallon in town and about 18 on the highway. So, I mean, not that great. I was expecting better, honestly, especially because, you know, the piece of paper or whatever you want to call it that comes with the truck tells you you're supposed to be getting like an average of 20 between the two. It's supposed to be like 22 highway and 18 in town, and it is really not anywhere close to that. So another big thing I have noticed, and I'm pretty sure it did this before the tune, but I really did not pay that close of attention, is when you're driving on the highway and you're going above 65 miles an hour, then it drops your gas mileage down. But if you're going under 65, your gas mileage is pretty good. For instance, when I am on like the highway going like, I don't know, I could be going 64 miles an hour, so under 65, then my gas mileage is honestly about 24 miles to the gallon. It is super good. I love it a lot. But once I hit 65 or above, then it really drops down. It goes down to about 19, which is still pretty good, but I don't know why, but it drops a lot. And then in town, I'm honestly averaging around 15 miles to the gallon. But a big part of that is because of the way it shifts now, and also because now it's a lot faster, and so I like to stomp on it more. The other day I tried to drive pretty conservative in town, and when I did, I averaged 23 miles to the gallon. So it was super good in town. I just kept hitting green lights, and it was super, super good. I was just super conservative with how I was driving. I wasn't trying to stomp on it really hard or anything, but I was getting around 23 miles to the gallon. It was pretty sweet. With the in-town driving, I normally get about 15, and that is because of the shifting. If you haven't seen the install video to where I download the tune to the truck, I do a quick little drive on it. You can see how it goes through each gear. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But another thing I've also noticed with that, it almost drives like as if you are in sport mode. I'll take it for a drive here and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So we've got the gears on, so you can see what the gears are. So if you pay attention to the gearing here, we will shift through each gear. And if you notice the RPMs as well, honestly, to me it drives almost a lot like as if you were in sport mode, but not quite as dramatic. A big thing is it'll hold in lower gears and keep your RPMs high. So when I'm in town driving at about 45 miles an hour, it holds me in 7th gear, and my RPMs are at about 2,000 all the time. So like I said, the RPMs are higher, meaning gas mileage will go down. And then I'll show you another thing here I've learned with this tune as well. So as you'll notice, it will go through every gear. And another thing to notice with that is the shifts are definitely a lot harder. They're not by any means super dramatically bad, but it definitely does shift harder than how it did stock. But as you can see, the RPMs, it definitely holds higher, and you can see my speed. Like, I'm not accelerating super fast by any means. I'm just going up a hill right now, cruising at the same pace, and it's holding at almost 2,500 RPMs. I let off, and it'll go into 7th, and it will stay in 7th gear. So another big thing I've noticed as well, when you are not on cruise control, the highest I have gotten it is into 7th gear. The only way I have found to pass 7th gear is to set your cruise control. So if I set my cruise control on 45 here, once it's set, you wait about 30 seconds or so. I'm not exactly sure how long it'll take. I've only got a mile stretch here. I gotta hit the brakes. When you are on cruise control, once it's set for, I think 30 seconds is about what I've noticed, then it'll finally kick up gears. So if you're going about 70 miles an hour down like the interstate, or whatever, 75 down the interstate, and your cruise control is not set, it will hold you at 7th gear the entire time, is what I've noticed. I'm not sure if this will be different for some other people that do not have the 5.0, or I don't know, just something is different with your tune. I really don't know. But anyways, for me, this is how it is specifically. It holds in 7th gear the whole time until you set cruise control, and your cruise control is set for about 30 seconds or so. Then it will finally shift up. So I got a nice stretch here, so we'll see if it'll work in town. So we're in 7th gear, just cruising. So maybe give it 30 seconds or so on cruise control, and it will finally upshift into 8th, 9th, and 10th when you are going down the highway or whatever it thinks you need to be in. It might just stay in 7th because I'm only going 45 miles an hour. It might shift to 8th, not sure. I don't think it will, just because I'm only going 45 in town here. But it's very weird, but that's the thing. If you're going like 75, then you should set cruise control to get into 10th gear, because otherwise it will hold in 7th gear. It'll keep you at 2,500 RPMs, and it'll just destroy your gas mileage. So you really do need to set your cruise control in order to get all of your gearing out of the truck so you can get better gas mileage. But like I said, it's almost like as if it is in sport mode. It's just holding that gearing for a longer amount of time and really keeping your RPMs up. I haven't even driven it in sport mode, so I'm not exactly sure what it's like. I'm assuming it's just like the same thing, it's just over dramatizes it even more. I don't know, I just think it's kind of weird. It's neat, but it's weird. Just hold your RPMs way higher. But that is one thing to definitely note, is the highest I've gotten it is into 7th gear, unless you are driving highway or interstate and you set cruise control. But it is weird though too, because you set cruise control, and like I said, it's going to take it about 30 seconds to realize, hey, you're in cruise control, you need to shift up now. But if you're driving highway, and even if your speeds are pretty high, but you're not set on cruise control and you're holding the same speed, then it's still going to hold in 7th gear. I've never gotten it above 7th in town. But yeah, it's like almost like it's in sport mode. The thing is really fast, definitely rips. Spin my tires a lot. The thing is definitely fast, definitely an improvement in horsepower for sure. It goes way faster. So you could see there, it's almost like as if it's in sport mode. It goes up and then it kind of holds for a second. Make sure you don't want to hit on it again, and then it'll finally downshift. But another thing I've noticed, so I'm off the gas right now. When I kind of get on the gas a little bit, I don't know if it'll do it right now because my speed's a little higher, but I've noticed it around 35, 40 miles an hour is when I'm on the gas and then I let off, it kind of, like I said, it keeps those RPMs higher. But then you hit on the gas again and it almost feels like it's in neutral, and it just kind of goes whoosh with the truck. It goes doosh and it kind of kicks it in. I feel like it definitely does it kind of hard. I can feel it. I don't know if it's really picking it up on camera though, but I let off the gas and it slows me down and I hit on it, and it kind of, the whole truck jerks with it. It's really weird. So that's another reason cruise control is nice. Even when you're in town trying to keep a consistent speed, it's nice because you're not always constantly on and off the gas making it do that. I don't know, it's just really weird, but the thing is definitely fast for sure. Turn off traction control. Let me do a little pull here again. Okay, no brake torque, traction control's off. So it definitely shifts harder than it would stock, that's for sure. I don't know if you guys could see it all in that clip, but it definitely shifts a lot harder, spins the tires a lot longer. I gained more traction this time versus what I did last time. When last time I spun him up to about 55 miles an hour, this time I think it said 40 miles an hour by the time it shifted. It does red line all the way up. I've got it up to 7 grand before, but the thing is definitely a lot faster than it was before. That is for sure. So what is the positives and negatives of this tune? So positives, it's a lot faster for sure. And honestly, gas mileage, I think, at least when you are on the highway, that is, at least gas mileage is a lot better. Like I said, I'm getting around 23 miles to the gallon on the highway, going under 65 miles an hour. Once you hit above 65, your gas mileage kind of gets trashy. So if that's a big thing for you, that's something to notice. But this is also a 91 performance tune. I'm sure you could go with a economy tune and you might be getting better gas mileage. For a positive on this thing, then it is definitely a lot faster. Highway gas mileage is a large improvement. In-town gas mileage is not so much. It has dropped a couple, like 3 or so, but it honestly just depends how you drive it. If you drive it pretty crazy, then you're gonna be getting 15 miles to the gallon. If you drive it super conservative, you'll be getting like 23, 24 miles to the gallon in town. So it really just depends on how you drive it. But like I also said, this is a performance tune. You could go with a economy tune, and I'm sure that you'd be getting even better gas mileage. Another thing is, like I said, it runs through all the gears, and I wanted to do this video before I got the new wheels and tires put on because I want to compare how the tune works before. This is still the stock tire setup on here. The lift is coming soon, and the new wheels and tires will be on, so it'll be bigger. I've heard from some guys it kind of screws it up. I hear with this tuner, I hear it's still new enough to where you cannot yet put in your own like tire size values, and it recalibrates the speedometer and the gearing and such. So I've heard for some guys it kind of screws up your gearing, but I'll give it a test for myself once we get that stuff put on. But anyways, it's just a quick little review real quick. Like I said, one of the biggest things is the transmission with it. The highest you can get it is 7th gear in town, at least for me. I don't know if it might be different for someone else, but from my experience, that is what has happened. 7th gear is the highest you can get it in town, but once you are set on cruise control on the highway is when you can pick up those last 3 gears. I think I've covered about everything on it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, or if I left anything out, then drop a comment down below, and I will answer that as soon as I can. But I think I have covered everything on it. But as always, thanks for watching another video of Bloom Outdoors. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.